Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome to the Road to the Record weekly review special for week 52, which is the final week of the second year of the Gaming Decathlon competition. This week I brought in 3,159 points, a little bit more than last week's 3,081, and not far off from the best round score of 32.57 scored a few weeks ago. The current virtual best sees a significant rise this week to 3,948, but better than the 35.43 of a week ago. And the all-time virtual best also seeing a decent jump, nearly 100 points up, to 6,390, which is 95 more than a week ago. Looking at the 10 games individually, Pro Cycling Manager 2019 Career Mode, 433 points. That's a 43-point jump in 1 week. That's a pretty big jump, and almost all of that came from national championship races, where we had some successes, including 2 victories. So we've got some jerseys to wear for the season coming up. That's nice, and picked up some good points for it. In the Stage Racer, we ended the season on a high note. Did quite well to wrap up the season and now have 482 points. And of course we have to wait another year to see how we can do, whether we can better that or not. But that's a pretty solid total considering how poor the year was overall. But at the same time, it feels like it could have been more. I'm hoping that next season will be an increase. In the Classics Rider, 236 points, still struggling behind the other games. Not even sure if I'll eclipse our total of 311 from last year. But again, I think so much of that comes down to the fact that we're at World Tour level now. We're racing against the best instead of the Continental Pro level, where we're racing against guys on their way up. Amongst the guys on their way up, we dominated against the World Tour's best, against Alaphilippe and Van der Poel and any number of other riders. I struggle, especially against those 2 top riders. And so not getting the wins. And I'm finishing, 6th or 7th and going, yay, us. So it's hard to accumulate a lot of points. Motorsport Manager, another race. Another one that did not suit our car well, but we managed to get 3 points, so certainly could have been worse. Rebel Inc., not a good week on that one. Score went back a ways, struggled, didn't get the victory. Trying some things, though. It is definitely time to experiment. Take some tips, run with them, see how they do, see if they benefit me, because I want to get back to Brutal. And right now, I know a certain play style with a certain combination of map, governor, advisors that I can breeze through at 5 stars. But then you put it on Brutal and things get tough and I fall short. So a certain scenario works really well for me, but I got to figure out how to play better in other scenarios, and that's why I'm experimenting. So it dropped the score. It'll come back up. Transport Fever 2. Love that game. Oh my goodness, I'm having so much fun with Transport Fever 2. That said, another achievement now at 300 points, 30% of the way there already. But the achievements obviously get harder as you go along, so I will not accumulate. We're going to be out of easy points before too long, and they'll start trickling in over time. Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2020. New season started after our first season ended with 151 points, and that was even making the playoffs, but that was the last seed in the playoffs. That was a single win in the playoffs, so it wasn't a lot of points. But so many of the points that are available are going to come from a high playoff seed and getting through some playoff rounds. So right now we're kind of just cruise mode going through the season. 45 points. Had a slow start to the season, but it's getting better. It's definitely getting better. And I think we're on kind of a similar boat to last year, maybe a little bit better as the season goes on. We'll see. In the PCM 18 career mode, 345 points now. Approaching the end of the season, getting close. But we're also getting close to the total from last season, less than 100 points away. So hard to say whether we'll get above it or not. I would love to see it hit around 500 points. I'm not sure it's going to get there. Not sure we're going to see that one get into the top 10 list for the all-time virtual best, or the all-time best. And because of that, I don't want to say it's a failure. It's been a great series. But if you remember from the very, very beginning of that series, we started with a tiny Continental team with no budget. And it's taken us a long, long time to get to the point where we do have a workable, sizable budget. And that is significant. That's why that series is stalling. And that is also why the 19 career mode in just its second season is now just 6 points shy of the 18 career mode's record, even though they're both Continental Pro teams. And I'm pretty dominant there, but I'm not getting invites to World Tour races. My 19 career mode team, still Pro Continental, but much higher level. And most of that comes down to the budget. Just have more money to spend. And I did start with some decent riders. That's a contributing factor. Where are we? Automation Empire. 370 points on that one. Huge jump from where we were. I did have improvements. I mean, there was a new tech or two this week. 2 techs this week, I think. And 1 upgrade this week. So we did get a return. There was an improvement to the score. However, it was not 200 points worth of improvement. I did rescale the game because I looked through and discovered that even though there are a ton of different maps, it's the exact same game regardless of the map you're on. It's just a different appearance, different location of resources, but otherwise do the same thing over and over again. So I've decided that it's going to be a one and done. I'm going to beat the game once and go, yay, beat the game. Moving on. Because I'm just not interested in doing it again. There's not enough excitement to that game to want to go back and play another map and play the exact same game over again with just a slightly different layout. If you were doing things different, if there were other variables besides the layout of the map, then sure, I'd want to give it a go again, but not without the variance. And therefore I rescaled the maps from being the bulk of the points to just beating the game once, being the bulk of the points, and dropping the maps down a little bit in value. But I definitely won't get anywhere near 1,000 because one map is one map and not worth a whole lot of points anymore. So it is what it is. I will not master that game, but I will certainly beat it once. And look forward to that. And finally, Football Manager 2020. We finally see the FA Cup. We get far enough into the season. As a championship team, we have enough buys to get to the third round already. And so we finally played the third round, won the third round, and we move on. As a result, we finally get points for the FA Cup, and we already get third round points for winning the third round. And those points are already, a good chunk of the way through that journey by entering the tournament later. And so we move up to 507 points eclipsing the FM19 score. And as it should, we were promoted, so we set a higher base score of 100 points higher than what we had previously, and that's kind of how you get higher and higher in that game. Move up, move up, move up, and we continue to do so. Anyway, that is the 10 games currently. We are at the end of the year. We're going to have a big end-of-year review special here in just a few days, and I'm really looking forward to doing that one because the channel's changed a lot and grown so much from where I was a year ago to now. Quickly, though, let's see what's going on the all-time virtual best side, because actually there's been a lot of changes. A week ago, we saw Rebel Inc. shoot up the charts a bit into 5th place. No change this time. That score scaled back a little bit, but all around it, big changes. Football Manager 2020 with the big scoring week. FA Cup jumps to 7th place on the all-time virtual best, being just the 7th game to get above 500 points. It drops Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2017 down the list to 8th from 7th, and now up to 9th, also from outside of the top 10. Both of these games coming from outside of the top 10. PCM 19, the Pro Cyclist Stage Racer, 482. Of course, the season just ended, so that score's not going anywhere for a while yet. But it is in the top 10 now. It bumps Football Manager 2019 down 2 spots from 8th to 10th. Knocking out of the top 10, and now in 11th and 12th are Factorio and Dirt Rally. Never to be seen again, as those are both inactive games, retired games. Dropping a spot from 12th to 13th is PCM 18 Career Mode. Again, I don't know if that one's going to see the top 10 now, as I'm not sure we're going to beat that score. And if we do, I don't think we're going to beat it by much this season, as we're having a very similar schedule to what we had, but I'm quick simming a lot more races than I did that previous season. So even though I'm winning more consistently, there's that trade-off. Moving up to 14th is PCM 19 Career Mode, and now on the list because the other 2 that were on this list are now inside the top 10. So 2 replacement games, but they're both moving up. They both scored higher this week. The other one, and way down in 17th, but jumping a lot of places, was Automation Empire. In fact, I think it was outside of the top 30 a week ago. But with the rescale, it moves up quite a bit. But it also is a first game on the list below 400 for a little while with a 370. Of those, PCM 19 Career Mode definitely looks like it's the closest to getting into the top 10. However, Automation Empire has a chance with that rescale and the way the points work now. And I think I'm getting pretty close to the end of that game, that while it won't get high up the list, it's got a chance to see the top 10. I don't know how many points we'll get. I definitely don't think it'll crack the top 6 at all. 645 seems a bit much. But will it get top 10? Yeah, I think it will. So it'll be interesting to see which of those 2 cracks top 10 first. That's going to do it for this review special. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Decathlon Gamer. I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye for now.